And time now 6:37. Exactly a year ago today, two men were sentenced to life for the murder of Doreen Lawrence. The black teenager was stabbed to death in London almost 20 years ago. In a moment, we'll be talking to his mother, Doreen, but first let's remind ourselves of the case that shook Britain.
In April 1993, Doreen Lawrence was stabbed to death as he waited at a bus stop in Eltham, south-east London. Neil and Jamie Acorte, Luke Knight, Gary Dobson and David Norris were arrested, but charges were dropped against Jamie Acorte and David Norris, and the three other men were acquitted at trial. A year later, the Home Secretary announced a judicial inquiry into the case by Sir William Macpherson. It accused the Metropolitan Police of institutional racism and gave 70 recommendations for changes to the force. In April 2005, the double jeopardy legal principle preventing suspects being tried twice for the same crime was scrapped, and 5 years later, Gary Dobson and David Norris were arrested and charged with Stephen's murder. A year ago today, they were jailed for life.
Well, Doreen joins us on the sofa now. Morning to you, Doreen. Morning. I mean, a year ago you were in court and you watched two men jailed for life for killing Stephen. I spoke to Neville, Stephen's dad at the time, who talked of his determination, that he felt there were more suspects out there that needed their day in court and to be tried. Is that still a possibility, and is that something you're still seeking to do?
It's something I'm still seeking to do. Is it a possibility? That's still down to the police. So after almost 20 years, you know, we're still fighting to make sure we get all of them rather than just the two. The two is great because I think we never thought we'd ever had that. But to get two has been amazing. But it would be quite good just to see the others, because I think, you know, they're probably still out there thinking we've got away with it.
You have, in the interim, since that happened, been critical of this government and said that race is not on their agenda and they're not helping you in your campaign. Why did you say that?
I think since the Macpherson report came out, I believe that since this government's come in, a lot of things have been rolled back around the stop and search, around the equality issues and stuff.
They no longer have to record every time they stop and search?
No, they don't. So there's no accountability to how the police behave on the streets to individuals. And I think that rather than us moving forward, I just feel that we're moving backwards.
Yeah, I gather you wrote to David Cameron, you wrote to Nick Clegg, and you wrote to the then Police Minister, Nick Herbert. What response did you get?
Just before Christmas, I received a letter from, a joint letter from David Cameron and Nick Clegg, saying, you know, their policy is that race is very important to them. But I think, you know, words are very good, but we just need to see some actions. We just need to see exactly what it is they're doing. What
drives you on, Doreen? I mean, you know, it's 20 years in April. I know the pain of losing Stephen will never go away, but what drives you forward to be so determined that no family will suffer the pain and the loss that you've experienced?
Because it's taken so long. Because I think Stephen's killers could have been caught and jailed right back since 93, 94. But every step of the way, we've had so many things block us from actually achieving that. And why should we have to go through all that pain just to get justice? And so that's what's been, I think, part of the driving behind why I just think, why should anybody have to suffer that?
You must have been encouraged by the public support that you've had, certainly latterly, and the fact that, you know, you got a Pride of Britain award, you carry a flag at the Olympics, and everyone immediately around you applaud you and what you're doing, particularly with your charity, helping kids to get jobs in architecture, which is what Stephen wanted to do.
Yes, the public has been really fantastic. I've had so much support over the years. It's not just last year, but I think all during the past 19 years, going 20 years, there's people up and down the country has supported me, my family, and the Trust. I think the Trust is, you know, the legacy of Stephen. I just think the work that we do is just so important, because it's not about me, it's not about my family personally. It's what we do with how we support other young people and how we support the community. So that's what's been my drive for all the time. And as we move forward, we're looking not just at architecture, we're just looking at how do we help get young people in other professions. So access to the profession is something that we're working towards now.
It's not the life you chose, but it's been amazing, the achievements that you've actually made.
Well, thank you very much. But as I said, I didn't do it on my own. I think there's been a lot of people behind me who has been supporting me.
Well, all the very best to you and those who help you. Thanks very much, Dee, for being with us.
Thanks, Doreen.
Okay, thank you.